October 2025, Heavy D Sparks, one half of the legendary Diesel Brothers duo, was arrested and booked into Salt Lake City jail. The charge? Contempt of court for refusing to pay over $843,000 in fines. But this wasn't just another celebrity scandal. This was the final chapter in a story that began with two friends building trucks in a Utah garage, skyrocketed to Discovery Channel fame, and crashed spectacularly under the weight of federal lawsuits. What really happened? How did YouTube sensations with millions of fans end up facing hundreds of Clean Air Act violations? The truth is darker than anyone expected. Before the lawsuits, before the federal charges, before everything fell apart, there were just two guys with a dream and a diesel engine. David Sparks, known as Heavy D, and his best friend David Kiley, called Diesel Dave, were running a small vehicle customization shop in Utah. They weren't famous, they weren't rich, they were just diesel enthusiasts who loved building trucks. But Heavy D understood something crucial about the internet age. Content was king, so they started filming their builds and posting videos to YouTube. Nothing fancy, just raw footage of them transforming beat-up diesel trucks into absolute beasts. The trucks were loud, powerful, and they did something that would later become their signature move: rolling coal. Those massive plumes of black smoke shooting from exhaust pipes weren't just for show. They became the Diesel Brothers' calling card. The videos started racking up views, hundreds of thousands, then millions. People couldn't get enough of watching these bearded dudes turn scrap metal into monsters. And then came the moment that changed everything. Jay Leno, the legendary car enthusiast and former Tonight Show host, stumbled across their videos. He was so impressed that he invited them onto his show. That appearance was the golden ticket. Within weeks, Discovery Channel came knocking. They saw the same thing Leno did: authentic personalities, incredible builds, and an audience that was already hooked. In January 2016, Diesel Brothers premiered on Discovery Channel. The show followed Heavy D, Diesel Dave, and their crew as they bought diesel trucks headed for the scrap heap, completely rebuilt them, and either sold them for profit or gave them away in contests. It was entertaining, it was addictive, and it was about to make them stars. But success has a way of blinding people to the consequences of their actions. The show exploded. Season after season, millions of viewers tuned in to watch the Diesel Brothers transform ordinary trucks into extraordinary machines. They weren't just building vehicles anymore, they were building an empire. Sparks Motors expanded rapidly, with their Woods Cross, Utah headquarters becoming a destination for diesel enthusiasts from across the country. The online marketplace Diesel Sellers turned into a thriving business where modified trucks sold for serious money. The numbers tell the story. Court documents later revealed that Heavy D pulled in $482,000 from his Discovery Channel partnership alone between 2016 and 2018. And that was just the television deal. Custom trucks were selling for thousands, sometimes tens of thousands of dollars. Parts and merchandise added another revenue stream. Heavy D even bought Fremont Island in the Great Salt Lake, planning to use it for filming and vehicle testing, though he'd later sell it when permits didn't work out. Celebrity collaborations followed. Kanye West sold Heavy D his customized Ripsaw EV2 after leaving Wyoming. They built trucks with Marshawn Lynch, the former NFL running back who absolutely demolished a Jeep in one of their monster trucks. Chuck Norris showed up. Logan and Jake Paul made appearances. The Diesel Brothers had gone from YouTube nobodies to legitimate celebrities in the automotive world. They set world records, including a monster truck jump that Heavy D performed in his personally branded truck, the Brodozer. They converted a Tesla Cybertruck to run on snow tracks. They used flamethrowers to thaw helicopters. The stunts got bigger, the builds got crazier, and the money kept flowing. 8 seasons aired between 2016 and 2022. But beneath all that success, beneath the fame and the fortune and the celebrity friendships, they were building something else too. A federal case that would eventually destroy everything. Rolling coal. Those two words became synonymous with the Diesel Brothers brand. For the uninitiated, rolling coal is when a diesel truck spews massive clouds of thick black smoke from its exhaust, usually during acceleration. It looks dramatic, it sounds powerful, and it's completely illegal in 6 states, including Utah. But the problem went deeper than just the visual spectacle. To make trucks roll coal and perform at the extreme levels showcased on the show, the Diesel Brothers were systematically removing federally required emissions equipment. The main target? The diesel particulate filter, or DPF. This component is mandated by the Environmental Protection Agency for a critical reason. It captures the nasty particulate matter that makes diesel exhaust one of the most toxic forms of air pollution. Heavy D had a business justification for removing these filters. In an interview with Fox 13 News, he explained that around 20,000 miles the DPF becomes clogged. Fixing it properly costs vehicle owners upwards of $5,000, but bypassing it entirely? That's only $500 to $1,000. For truck owners looking at that price difference, the choice seemed obvious. What Heavy D didn't emphasize was the environmental and health cost. Without the DPF and other emissions controls like exhaust gas recirculation systems, these modified trucks became pollution machines. They were doing this work on camera, uploading it to YouTube, broadcasting it on Discovery Channel. Videos of their trucks blowing massive black smoke clouds racked up millions of views. They weren't hiding what they were doing. They were celebrating it, monetizing it, and building a business model around it. The irony is brutal. The very thing that made them famous, the signature move that brought them millions of fans and made them Discovery Channel stars, was also creating a paper trail of federal violations. Every video, every episode, every proud display of rolling coal was evidence. In 2016, while the Diesel brothers were riding high on their newfound fame, a group called Utah Physicians for a Healthy Environment was watching, and they weren't impressed. These doctors saw the rolling coal videos and recognized something the fans didn't: a serious public health threat. Diesel exhaust isn't just unpleasant. It's linked to heart attacks, strokes, lung disease, cancer, and birth defects. The physicians decided to act. They filed a federal civil lawsuit against Heavy D Sparks, Diesel Dave Kiley, Joshua Redbeard Stewart, Keaton the Muscle Hoskins, and their various companies. The allegation was straightforward: significant, repeated, and ongoing violations of federal law. But the physicians didn't just rely on the video evidence that was already public. They went further. They actually bought a modified truck directly from Sparks Motors. That purchase became the smoking gun. The physicians had the truck tested at an independent emissions lab in Denver, Colorado. The results were devastating. Without the required emissions equipment, this single truck produced 36 times more pollution than a stock truck. The particulate matter, the most dangerous component of diesel exhaust, was 21 times higher than legal limits. This wasn't a minor violation. This was a vehicle that had been turned into what one doctor called a disease-generating machine. The lawsuit claimed the Diesel brothers had violated the Clean Air Act on hundreds of occasions. Heavy D's attorney pushed back hard, claiming only about 17 trucks had been modified and it wasn't done on any massive scale, but the evidence kept piling up. There were the trucks sold directly to customers, the trucks given away in contests to fans, the defeat devices and parts marketed and sold through diesel sellers to buyers nationwide, and all of it documented on social media and television for the world to see. The legal system moved methodically, and with each step, the Diesel brothers' position got worse. In June 2018, a Davis County emissions inspector testified about illegally modified Diesel brothers trucks. The judge issued an injunction, a clear warning: stop modifying vehicles to defeat emissions controls or face serious consequences. Heavy D claimed he thought modifying trucks for off-road use was legal and said he was working with the EPA to ensure compliance. The modifications continued anyway. March 2020 brought the hammer down. Federal Judge Robert J. Shelby ruled that Heavy D, Joshua Stewart, Keaton Hoskins, and their companies had violated the Clean Air Act not just once or twice, but on hundreds of occasions. Worse, they had violated the 2018 injunction. The fine, $851, split between the federal government and Davis County. But that wasn't all. The judge also ordered them to pay the Utah Physicians for a Healthy Environment's legal fees, which would eventually total $928. The Diesel brothers appealed immediately. Their attorney argued the case fell under contradictory federal rulings in different circuit courts. Maybe they could find a technicality, a way out. In December 2021, the appeals court crushed that hope. Not only did they uphold the verdict, but they specifically noted the flagrant misconduct by the Diesel brothers. The only small victory was an order for Judge Shelby to recalculate the fine to eliminate penalties for trucks sold outside Utah. That recalculation happened in January 2024. The reduction, a mere $225,000, dropping the total from around $850,000 plus all those legal fees. The Diesel brothers' attorney spun it as a major win, claiming the fine would be slashed dramatically. The head of Utah Physicians for a Healthy Environment called it wishful thinking. He was right. The courts had spoken clearly. What the Diesel brothers did was illegal, harmful, and done with full knowledge of the consequences. Here's where the story gets truly bizarre. Heavy D, who had earned nearly $500,000 just from Discovery Channel in 2 years, who sold custom trucks for thousands of dollars each, who owned an island in the Great Salt Lake, claimed he couldn't afford to pay the fines. Court documents showed his substantial income. His social media showed his lavish lifestyle. But the money owed to Utah physicians for a healthy environment, that apparently wasn't available. Heavy D tried multiple arguments. He claimed most of his trucks were sold outside Utah, so the penalty shouldn't apply. Judge Shelby rejected that reasoning. He argued the case was an overreaching lawsuit designed just to collect attorney fees. The courts didn't buy it. For 3 years, from the 2021 appeal decision through 2024, the debt sat unpaid. The total owed $843,604. In June 2024, Judge Shelby found Heavy D and his co-defendants in contempt of court for failing to pay. Still nothing happened. Then came August 2025. Heavy D announced a liquidation sale at Sparks Motors headquarters, claiming financial necessity. But there was a problem. He posted a YouTube video on August 6 saying a federal judge had ordered him to postpone the sale, adding that a teeny-tiny group of people out there would love to see us fail. The sale went ahead on August 7 anyway, but the allocation of those funds became another point of legal contention. October 2, 2025, a bench warrant was issued for Heavy D's arrest. The charge? Contempt of multiple court orders. 5 days later, on October 7, federal marshals arrested him at 7:33 a.m. in Salt Lake City. The YouTube star, the Discovery Channel celebrity, the diesel truck mogul was booked into jail. The empire had finally collapsed. The Diesel brothers' story is a modern cautionary tale about fame and consequences. Two friends turned a passion for diesel trucks into a multimedia empire, then lost everything because they couldn't stop breaking federal law. The irony? Every video they posted was evidence against them. Heavy D's October 2025 arrest wasn't surprising. It was inevitable. You can't ignore court orders for 3 years and expect mercy. In the age of social media, views and likes don't make illegal things legal. Millions of followers don't put you above the law. The trucks that brought them fame became the evidence that brought them down.